If I would use one word to describe John Brown, it would be winner. Stryker Corporation, under the leadership of John Brown, delivered the best business results in the history of the medical device industry.
John Brown had the unusual qualities of being able to have both a strategic vision and a great command of the details. In John's 25 years as CEO, he had a better record than Warren Buffett and created more value for the shareholders over that period of time than I think any other CEO.
John is perceived as a real giant of the industry, someone who blazed the trail for others, a role model in integrity, and although he doesn't speak often, when he speaks, everyone listens to John, because when he has something to say, it's always very profound.
I think John Brown exemplifies 2 million Americans who get up every day working in this industry to improve the human condition. John as a person and John as a leader of Stryker really exemplifies the unique American success story that is the medical technology industry.
Born to farmers in Tennessee, John Brown carried the lessons of his early life of hard work, honesty, and commitment into his professional life. He would often remark that everything we needed to know was learned at our mother's knee. That faith in himself and in others served him well as he worked his way through a number of companies and became CEO of the Stryker Corporation in 1977.
Well, John really didn't make a lot of changes right up front. He really got a in-depth feel of the organization.
Most things went across his desk for signature or approval, and he was very visible across the organization. And examples of that could be anything from John walking the manufacturing floor.
Became on a first-name basis with many of the instrument assemblers, for example, just to get a feel for the kinds of employees we had.
And one of the things we learned is he was able to take ordinary people, motivate them to do superordinary things. We often would call it the John Brown treatment.
Building personal relationships at all levels of the company was only the first of improvements John Brown would make to Stryker. Soon he would need everyone in the company to do their best to reach the lofty goal of 20% growth for the foreseeable future.
When we were first interviewing John, we thought the company could grow 30% a year because it was a small company. John said, no, I can only do 20%, but I'll do it for as long as I'm here.
Well, he kind of pulled a fast one on us there. We were having a meeting, I think a general meeting in his office about this and that. And then he said, well, what percent of growth do you think we ought to commit to from now on? We're going to do 20%. Not realizing how difficult that was going to be in about the third year, fourth year, fifth year.
And the 20% goal was challenging, but achievable. It just motivated the entire organization to do their best.
To reach the annual goal of 20% growth, the company would need to pivot. New products would need to be invented, new acquisitions would need to be made, and managers and employees would need to perform at the highest levels. John Brown bet on his team and decentralized the company. Now divisions would have control over their future and ultimately the future of Stryker.
You know, divisionalization really contributed the greatest impetus to the company's accelerated and sustained growth.
Because that created ownership to, in a sense, build a more entrepreneurial culture.
At Stryker, you ran an entire company that spawned a lot of innovation, and they couldn't hide. There was no place to hide.
John Brown's bet on his employees paid off. Over the next 30 years, Stryker became a multinational giant with revenue of $17.3 million in 1976 to more than $8 billion today. And the guiding mission instilled by John Brown of invent it, make it, sell it, coupled with his bedrock values of don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, still guide the company today.
So when you think about it, John's lasting impact spans customers, patients, employees, shareholders, and our community. What an extraordinary legacy that is.
John Brown is a very fine citizen of the state of Michigan. He's been a major voice in Michigan Community Affairs for a long time, and we owe a great debt to him and people like him for what they've done to make Michigan a better place.
I can think of no one that more richly deserves our first Lifetime Achievement Award than John Brown. John is our longest tenured board member, and he held every important leadership role there is to hold within the association over that time period. He chaired our Technology and Regulatory Affairs Committee at its inception that still serves as the cornerstone of our interactions with the FDA today. During John's chairmanship, he really led the development of AdvaMed's Code of Ethics, and the code is such a living document. We're now standing on John's shoulders as we advocate for a harmonized code around the world.
I've known John probably for almost 30 years, and I'll tell you, his wife's the same way. Soft-spoken, really cares, stepped up to the plate philanthropically for sure for folks all across the region. For Michigan, major employer, but it's always ranked in the top 10 places that folks want to work in the country. And it really came about because of the standard that John Brown set for all the folks that are there. Not only was he the chairman of a pretty big company and certainly lots of jobs in my district, but he also cared about the country first. And because of that relationship, even though I'm a Republican, he's a Democrat, and there's a bond that we really have. And that's what America's all about.
John Brown, a shining example of what America is all about. Guided by his faith and character, he left his humble beginnings to set the standard of how hard work, dedication, vision, and leadership can lead a company, can change the lives of its employees, and can save lives and improve the quality of life for hundreds of thousands of patients worldwide. John Brown, we salute you and thank you for your years of service to the medical technology industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and raise your glass to AdvaMed's Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, Mr. John Brown.